Hey everyone, and welcome back to the stream. It is a very cold snow day here in Pennsylvania, so we are streaming from the home office. Get ready to talk about changes, talk about credentialing organizations, talk about credentials, new certifications, and a whole lot more. Thank you all for attending today, and let's get started with today's stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to be here today with all of you guys on another gorgeous, gorgeous Monday. Happy New Year. I think this is the first live stream of the new year, getting us kickstarted here on all of our favorite platforms: Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram. Oh my gosh. I don't know about you guys. I have been having a heck of a time setting some new goals for 2025 for myself, because I have a couple of things that might happen in either January or February that might derail some of those plans or change them drastically. And I was really thinking about, like, what do I want to do in 2025? Like, I don't want to go crazy and be like, I'm going to set 16 goals and a 5-star plan and all these different steps. And I really fried my brain over the holiday, just like scrolling, because I was like, oh, I'm going to relax. And my relaxing turned into just mindless scrolling. So I decided that my goal for 2025 is to reduce my mindless scrolling. I'm going to try to not look at my phone as soon as I wake up in the morning, and instead start my day with like a walk. And then I have my walking pad over on this side of the office. So I'm going to drag that out. That's what I did this morning. Dragged out my walking pad. I have a sit-stand desk in both my offices. So I'm like, bought it. Well, yeah, doom scrolling. So I'm going to get my desk to stand all the way up so I can go for a walk, and I can like stream something really like productive while I'm walking. And then eventually when I can go outside, I'll just listen to podcasts and stuff. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been doom scrolling, and I'm like, you know what? All I'm doing is absorbing all this terrible news. And granted, there are some very tragic things happening, but at the end of the day, I cannot do anything about them. And all they were doing was just making me more anxious and go down rabbit holes. And I'm like, okay, well, now I'm not getting the things done that I need to get done that I can actually change something about. So that's my goal, is for this year, I'm going to try to reduce the doom scrolling. I haven't gotten as far yet as setting like locks on my phone. I've known some people that are doing that they're like, okay, I'm going to set my apps like Facebook and TikTok or whatever to lock after so many hours. But yeah, welcome into the live stream today for 2025. Hello to Allie's here. Hello to, well, this is a wonderful name. I hope I pronounce it like right, Ladriba. That's beautiful. Hi, Tony. Hey to Rusty. Tracy. Hey guys. Yeah, someone's saying that their plan is to lose 20 pounds. You know what I did last year? My last year goals were like, I'm going to set up all of the stones, set up all the steps of things that will probably help me lose weight. I'm like, I'm going to reduce my stress. I'm going to exercise more. I'm going to eat right. And I'm like, oh, and then I'll probably also lose weight because I did all of these things to be healthy, and I got way, way healthier. Did not lose weight. So I have some rethinking to do there. Definitely some rethinking to do there. But yeah, right now it's the beginning of January, which means that the AAPC is in their blackout period. And if you've not taken a certification in a while, you might not realize that the AAPC now has a blackout period where you can't schedule exams for basically the first 2 weeks-ish in January. So that's their time that they are now updating all their certification exams, making sure that everything's uploaded correctly, that they don't have any issues, that people will sign in, that's going to give them all old codes, or that the test banks are all updated and all that stuff. So I don't know if you right now can schedule an exam, because I don't have an exam voucher to test it out. But usually they don't let exams pick up again until like January 15th. I think they just started this last year. So yeah, it's gonna be good. I also, on the topic of the fact of certifications, okay, I don't know if you guys saw this. AAPC is launching a new certification, which we could go down a whole rabbit hole right now between what's going on with credentialing organizations, because the whole AHEMA thing, that's a little understandably concerning, some things going on there. But I wanted to show you guys this. Let's get on the main channel page, and I'll share and show you what I saw the other day. Window. Let's do this. Okay, there we go. Let me do my bubble. Where am I? Where's my bubbly bubble? Oh, there I go. Okay, I love this one where I'm in the little circle. So AAPCSA has a new certification, and I want to take a look at this with you guys because I thought it was really, really interesting. So view all your certifications, and then there's so many of them that you have to like scroll to all the bottoms and then hit load more. There it is. Okay. RCMS, the Certified Revenue Cycle Management Specialist. And I'm kind of feeling like maybe this is the one that's going to compete with the CRCR from HFMA. And the CRCR is Certified Revenue Cycle Credit something specialist. But in any case, I think this is what this is going to be competing with. And this is the Certified Revenue Cycle Management Specialist. Oh, look, they're letting you schedule an exam now. I swear to God, I looked at this earlier and it said coming soon. Oh, they must have this must have literally just been put on in the last 2 hours, because this said coming soon when I just looked at it earlier. Oh my God, that's crazy. Hold on. Let me make sure that okay. This is the same link. Yes, I was literally just at this link like 2 hours ago and it said coming soon. So they just opened this up. Probably because maybe they're opening up scheduling for exams now. Maybe the blackout period, like they're letting exams scheduled now. Okay. So this one, check this out. This is Revenue Cycle Management Specialist, holds a mid-level position that is responsible for understanding the healthcare revenue cycle process life cycle. It consists of analyzing and improving current processes. So I haven't looked at any of the study material if they have anything yet, because I don't know that they do. We can take a look at that in a second. But this is an interesting exam because look at this. 135 multiple choice questions, right? Online exam, timed 4 hours. The approved code books for this one are the CPT, ICD-10-CM, ICD-10-PCS, and HCPCS, which means that it's probably not going to test you on just Profi coding, meaning you can't go from a CPC right into this because you don't know ICD-10-PCS. You're not trained in PCS coding for the CPC. So this is something that you have to know the whole revenue cycle, Profi and facility coding, in order to be able to get this credential, because you got to have your PCS book. I'm wondering since it's just revenue cycle, if it will be less intense on the PCS coding as far compared to like going for like a CIC. Because I might be able to like fudge my way through enough PCS coding to have some general rev cycle knowledge, but I don't know that I would be ready to sit for the CIC. And then it covers here over all the different competencies with this credential: understanding patient demographics, social determinants of health, HCPCS, fee schedules, cost centers, revenue codes. It doesn't have an exam breakdown yet, though. So you know how some of the other certifications, when you look at them, they'll give you the exam breakdown here. They'll be like, oh, we're going to ask you 3 HCPCS questions and 6 questions on the 10,000 series, or we're going to ask you this many about compliance. Like, I don't see a breakdown yet. I think they are literally updating this right now as we speak. But I thought this was an interesting new credential that they have. Let's see about it. Oh, yeah. See, now here it says coming soon. Take the RCS, coming soon. And then that probably takes you to the thing to be alerted about updates. Interesting. Oh, wait, here we go. Is it up here? Oh, here we go. Here's the breakdown. Okay. Compliance is 11 questions, 19 on operations, 14 on patient access, 23 process improvement, 21 reporting questions, 37 questions on the revenue cycle, and then 10 cases. They really are doing these 10 cases, it seems like, for most of the exams. No calculator, just your code books you're allowed to take. That's cool. This is going to be an interesting one. But yeah, it's interesting that now that said schedule an exam. I wonder if they're I don't know. Maybe it's yeah, I wonder if they'll let you buy a voucher yet for it. Let's take a look. Yeah, RCMS. Let's see. Add to cart. Yeah, it's letting you pretty much don't show that stuff. Don't look at all my credit card stuff. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting. I know my credit card numbers weren't like there, but I didn't want to have all my I don't know if my address was there. Let's get back in. And we'll take that out of my cart. Oh yeah, it didn't show anything pertinent. Okay. Let me yeah, so $399 to take the exam. But I thought that was an interesting new one that they added. Very, very cool. It's nice to see that the AAPC is kind of expanding beyond just some of the coding stuff. And I think that is something that people are looking more into, is getting some more revenue cycle management as a whole sort of certification. But I do want to check one other thing. I wonder if they have a study guide for it yet. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, the HFMA courses, I tried getting the CRCR course with the well, I did buy the course with the HFMA a while ago, and it was just too dry. I couldn't get through it. I'm one of those people, I'll tell you, like, I like a nice video lecture where I can see my instructor and I can go through the slides and it's like maybe 30 minutes to an hour in chunks. I'm not big on read these pages, answer these questions, or the interactive things. Like, I like to just sit down and kind of watch a lecture. But let's see what we got here, if we have a study guide for it yet. CPC. Oh, yeah, I don't know if they have exam prep material for it yet, for their new certification. But while we're looking at this, yeah, I don't think we have anything yet. I'm just curious, are any of you guys affected right now by what's going on with AHIMA? Because they, it seems like, are having some issues with the website. I've had friends telling me for a while that they've been having problems with getting their CEU submitted, that they've had to call, that they've been on hold, that they've had to place multiple tickets, and that just seems like an awful lot. And I haven't looked over the town hall notes yet for what's going on with AHIMA, but there's definitely, I mean, like, I definitely am rooting for AHIMA. I want them to be successful, but I think they have a lot of catching up to do, and I'm concerned that they don't have the budget to do all of the catching up that they need to do. Cheesecake Budget says, "Hi, I'm working on my CPMA now. Any tips?" Practice exams, definitely the official ones in the AAPC. Study guide, helpful. They also, if you can find online, and I can never seem to find it anymore. Let me see if I can find it through Google search. There are additional resources that they provide. Additional preparation methods. Let's see if I can find it through like an old link on. Yeah, okay, here. If you go into Google and type in CPMA additional preparation methods, it will take you over to this page. And these are some other things that they're going to test you on for the CPMA exam that you need to have, I don't want to say an expert knowledge in, but a baseline knowledge of. So ABNs, CERT, corporate integrity agreements, compliance, a little bit of the CMS claims processing manual, fraud and abuse, HIPAA, Joint Commission, NCCI, the OIG work. Like, they haven't updated this in a while, so this is a 2012. But know a little bit about the OIG work plan, recovery audit, self-disclosure, Stark regulations. So try and find this link, and then check some of these additional resources out. Those are really good for the CPMA. This says, "Hello, thank you for this forum. I want to prepare myself for the CPCP exam, But undecided to go through a HEMA or should I stick with the AAPC? I'm not sure what you mean by CPCP. Do you maybe mean the CPCA? I know they used to have a CPCP, but I don't think you can test for the CPCP anymore. It's an older certification. That was, and I don't know if they even have the old ones linked in here anymore, the ones that they no longer offer. Let's see if they have a link here to them. Oh, CCSP. Yeah. CCSP. So CCSP, yeah, that's the HEMA's equivalent to the CPC. Honestly, I'm a little nervous of things going on with the HEMA right now. Not that I think that they're gonna like be gone in a matter of a couple of years, but I think there's been a lot of people complaining about their CEUs, that they don't feel as supported through a HEMA. I know people like a HEMA because they do feel a little bit more prestigious. There are certain certifications that you have to have an associate's degree for, like in health information technology and such. And they tend to do more like advocacy work type things. But I feel like if you are looking for better opportunities to grow, AAPC will probably be a better choice. They have a lot more certifications that you can get if you want to go into a different area. They're a lot more user friendly. I was even doing some short form videos recently where I talked about the My AAPC app. And let me just clear up some things on my phone real quick. I got a lot of people messaging me. I hate to say this, but I'm hitting that age now where I have to do one of these with my phone. Terrible. My AAPC. So yeah, they have the My AAPC app, and if you've never used it, it is so cool. Like when I go to submit my CEUs, so like here's my, like I can see right on my tracker how many CEUs I need, how many I still have due. These are my specialty CEUs. These are my core CEUs. I have like way more core CEUs than I need, and then I have specialties. And I can, like, if I'm at a seminar, I can just scan a QR code for a lot of them if they put it like on the last slide or something. And then I just scan it and it goes right into my tracker. Like it's so much easier I think to work with AAPC anymore than it is to work with a HEMA. So if you want to go, if you know for certain that you want to get into inpatient coding, I think a HEMA is still worthwhile, but not for something like the CCSP. And I think they even used to publish, like, there's not a lot of people that go for the CCSP or the CCA, the CCA even less anymore. P stood for payer. Yeah, they used to have a certification called the CPC P, and the P was for payer, which is different than the CCSP. The CCSP is the certified coding specialist. I think it's provider based, physician based. So yeah, that's different than the CPCP. But yeah, one other thing I wanted to talk about too today. Let me bring up my bookshelf. So I've been getting a lot of people asking about, hey, I haven't been in medical coding for a while. I'm looking for a new program, but I don't want to have to go through and start over from scratch. Like, what do you recommend for me? And if you are looking to either refresh on medical coding or self-study in medical coding in 2025, there are definitely resources out there. I prefer the step-by-step medical coding books. I'm curious, though, if they're in the Vital Source bookshelf yet. If you go to the channel's description here, I think I have it on. Oh, they do have it now. Sweet. I'm going to have to get this. So this is the book that I recommend. You can buy the paper copies on Amazon, and I have them linked. If you like the ebook versions, I would recommend getting them on Vital Source because then it'll be in with all of your AAPC stuff. So here we have, you can buy it now. It's up for $101.99. Step-by-step medical coding. I don't know if they have the workbook in here too, or if they just do the textbook version. Yeah, here we go. Workbook, textbook. Cool. So the cool thing about this is when you buy it, ooh, lifetime. And I have to check this out because they've been changing this the past few years as far as if they provide all the answers or if they don't provide the answers to the questions. And it gives you basically a little like self-study course when you buy the book that you can go through. It's not amazing. There's no video lectures. It's just like, here's a little extra something to kind of help you work through stuff. So when you buy this, and let's see if it shows it on here, includes 30 days of true code. Oftentimes it'll include like a little course that you can take online. Online access, read aloud. And you can also buy it on Amazon. So the Amazon version I have linked in the description. And those are great if you're like, I haven't done medical coding in a few years and I want to get back into it. Those are great if you're like, I already work in healthcare and I know some stuff about medical coding and I just want to kind of train myself. Self-study is not for everyone, but a lot of people I know have done with it. Let's see if we can get this over here. Okay. Yeah, so then if you want to buy the physical copy, you can buy it on Amazon, and they also have a workbook. But I have to check out to see what they did this year as far as the answers for the questions, because some years they'll have all of them, some years they'll have half of them. Now they've kind of picking and choosing. And I just want to double check to make sure that they still have the course available here. Let's see what it says. Student resources on Evolve access code inside. Yeah, so you can get some, it's like a little kind of self-study online course. Again, not lectures, not anything beyond, just some almost like slides that you can kind of click through a little bit. So that's what they offer. But if you're self-studying, I think that those are a great resource to have. Or if you're in another program where they don't offer this, honestly, I really, really like these step-by-step medical coding books. They're a great, great tool for learning the essentials of medical coding. Although, if you are someone who's looking to enroll in a course, I would recommend that you check out my medical coding masterclass, and you can find out more about Preppy. Preppy is the program that I recommend to my viewers. I am partnered with them, so thank you, Preppy, for helping sponsor my videos and supporting the channel. But if you go to Medical Coding Masterclass, that's my career masterclass. That's free. You can sign up, and it's going to tell you everything you need to know about getting started in medical coding. So like what certifications are employers looking for, how to make sure that you're not overspending on your training programs, what to look for in a training program. And then it talks about Preppy, which is the program that I recommend. They take really, really good care of my viewers. Like their customer service is great. They have externship capabilities. So if you're looking for an externship, they can hook you up. They have everything's like super on demand. It's really flexible. You get great access to resources, and they're fantastic. So how much is the course on Preppy? So I'll take a look at that with you guys right now because I want to make sure that I'm showing you what I'm seeing right now too. Okay. So you can also go and find it out on the website is preppy.org. So you can go there, and we have here courses, to do healthcare, medical billing and coding, and get access now. If you pay in full $15.99, they will include a Chromebook laptop, and then you get all your materials. It's just one payment, so there's no interest rate on it. You can get a payment plan, but then you have to pay like a little bit extra just to cover the interest and stuff. Well, not the interest, but the little bit of extra for paying in a payment plan, but you don't get the laptop with it. So there's lots of different options there, and they have some really great learner support. You get a certificate of completion from Auburn University, which is super, super cool. So if you're interested in that, definitely check them out. They don't have grants, they don't have student loans, but they do offer payment plans if you need them. And again, they're a really good program. And I have some videos coming up where I talk about kind of like getting into programs and stuff recently. And I think one of the things you need to understand is with a lot of programs, people get frustrated because they're like, oh, I'm doing my work and it takes too long for people to get back to me. And you have to understand that the people that would need to get back to you on a complex coding question need to be people that are certified coders. And I don't know that there's any schools out there that have a 24/7 stock of certified medical coders that are ready to answer questions at all hours of the day, because typically when you're studying, it's gonna be like a Saturday night or a late evening, so there's gonna be some delay in getting some response, and I know that's frustrating because oftentimes you're doing homework or you're looking at a question and you're like, "Oh, this is so frustrating, I just want someone to give me the answer right now," but when you were doing homework as a kid, like, you didn't call up your, high school science teacher and be like, "Yo, can you help me through this problem?" You had to wait until class the next day to ask it. So there's going to be understandably some kind of delay. Question says, thoughts on compliance officer. I'm thinking of going for that next. I think that's a big one that people look into for a couple different reasons, right? You're like, maybe I don't want to do as much day to day coding, or you're like, oh, I want to make a next step. I want to kind of move into something more evolved. I think a lot of people, though, are very money motivated because if you look at actually the recent AAPC salary survey, and I think the next salary survey should be coming up in a few weeks, the 2024 salary survey, well, 2025 salary survey based off of 2024 responses, because I think they're getting ready for it. Let's see here. Let's take a look over here. When we look at some of the salary by credential, look, they're starting to update the page here. 2025 salary report is based off of 2024 data. So this is going to publish in not Healthcare Business Monthly, AAPC the magazine. It's going to publish in AAPC the magazine next month. When you look at salary by credential, compliance officer is one of the ones that does report that it pays considerably more, right? So in 2022, it reported that people were making $81,938 a year as compliance officers. It jumped in 2023 to $89,010, which is understandable that you would see that and be like, yeah, that's the credential that I'm going to get because those people are making freaking bank, right? But oftentimes people who are working in compliance roles, they aren't brand new to healthcare. They've been in healthcare for a while. They have been doing maybe some auditing, or they've been working in some regulatory things, or working in quality payment programs, maybe. So I don't think it's likely that someone could jump right from, okay, I got my CPC this year, and now next year I'm going to get my CPCO, and I'm going to make $89,000. However, I think if that's a goal for you, it certainly is a certification you want to get, right? I I I'm a big fan of having the certification so that when the day comes and they need someone who is experienced in that role, you have a little bit of a better edge, right? Because you already have that credential, you've already demonstrated some sort of proficiency. So if they're looking within their organization and they're like, "Oh, no one else really has much compliance experience. But Sarah over here has her CPCO. Why don't we take a chance on her? Because she's clearly demonstrated this is the direction she wants to go in. She has some knowledge of it. You're going to be better off, right? So I don't think it's going to be always a jump from, okay, I'm a CPC and I got this credential. Now I'm going to get this huge pay increase and I'm going to get this job right away. But it's setting up those steps so that, okay, when that happens, you've already done the footwork to get yourself positioned correctly for those. So I think that's a great idea. I think compliance officer is a good one, especially as we're growing in some technology, and I think a lot of us are trying to shortcut things these days with technology and AI. I mean, if you even look on LinkedIn these days, a lot of people's posts look exactly the same because they go in, they get a new job, and they're like, okay, I want to announce this on LinkedIn. They go into ChatGPT. Hey, ChatGPT, help me announce that I have a new job, and everyone's post looks exactly the same. It starts with two little sparkles or little, kazoos or whatever the heck they are, and they say, exciting news. I am honored and privileged to announce that I am starting a new job at whatever. I'm so excited and esteemed to start at blah, 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 blah. And this is such a wonderful stepping stone for me. And I'm so amazing. Let's all celebrate together. And then it has some hashtags where the first word of each letter is capitalized. So everyone's announcements all look the same. And we're doing that kind of stuff in healthcare. We're kind of testing the waters. The providers are out there and they're like, yeah, I'll just have AI make this note for me. I'll just try to shortcut my ways through this. And, in a way, you can't blame them. They've got 50,000 things they need to do in a day. And we've all been there. We're trying to like, hey, there's this new technology and it's going to work great. And, but now we're finding out that mistakes are happening and things are getting billed wrong or notated wrong or, maybe the technology needs to be fine tuned. So there's going to be a need for some compliance officers to have some eyes on a lot of different areas and a lot of knowledge in different areas. And I think even we as coders have to start looking for things like notes that seem to not make sense or copy paste and so forth. Hannah Marina says, I'm going to the local technical college and it's so frustrating because it's all online and nothing is explained. It's all read this and answer questions, which prompted me to your videos. Yeah, you know what? I think that's kind of common with a lot of programs. I know I can't think of the name of it right now, but is it Ed to Go? I think it's Ed to Go is a program that they use with a lot of different community colleges and technical schools. And it gives you some baseline knowledge, but it's not always very engaging. It's not very exciting. So there's a lot of programs out there like that where it's like it's very dry. You have the information, but are you able to absorb it because it's just not presented very well, right? And some people have done very well on very dry, boring programs, and other people have gotten in the programs that are all bells and whistles and still not been successful with them. So at the end of the day, a lot of it really is what you make of it and how much you're willing to commit. I mean, you're definitely on the right path right now because you saw this and you're like, oh, it just is maybe a little bit dry, not kind of what all the bells and whistles I was expecting. Let me go out there and find some additional resources that are going to help me out. And I'm glad if my channel was able to help you with any of that. There's a question here from Krishna. It says, I have done master's in health informatics. That's amazing. Good one to get. How can I get a job into coding? What might be my first step? The first thing you need to do is for medical coding jobs, they need a coding certification. So you should look for, if you want to work, in professional fee coding, I would recommend the CPC. If you want to do inpatient facility coding, the AAPC also has an equivalent credential called the CIC, or you could get the CCS through AHIMA. It's going to be that's going to be your key. So the master's degree is great, and that's amazing that you have that. But if you want to get a job specifically in medical coding, you will need a medical coding credential. So that's going to be your first step, is to look into what type of coding you want to do and then determine the credential that you want to get to accompany that. Barbie says AAPC did a free AI cert last year. Yeah, I just finished mine recently. My CEUs didn't go in, and I don't know why. Maybe there was a deadline to get the CEUs that I missed. But in any case, yeah, it's there. It was free. I was not the biggest fan of it, but again, my tastes are very um my tastes are very different than some other people's. So I don't know. I made it through. I got my AI certification or certificate or completion or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, so that's kind of cool. And on the topic of that, uh not to fuel the fires of the AAPC versus AHIMA debates, but I feel like AAPC does a lot for its membership. So when you're an AAPC member, you get a lot of stuff included in your membership to help you get your CEUs. So if you don't want to have to buy CEUs, there's a lot of opportunities out there that you do not have to buy CEUs. Let me take a step back here because I know I have a lot of new people. So your CEUs is your continuing education units. If you get one credential for the AAPC, such as your CPC, you will have 30 continuing education credits that are going to be due in 2 years, which means you have 2 years time to submit 36 continuing education units. Basically, 1 hour of training is usually worth 1 CEU. So you can get that in a bunch of different ways. If you sit and watch a 1 hour webinar, you'll probably earn a CEU. If you do a 1 hour chapter meeting, you can get a CEU. And the AAPC does so much better than some other organizations than for their members. So as an AAPC member, if you go on the website, under your resources here, you get AAPC the magazine as part of your membership. And if you want to go and take a test to earn some CEUs based off of the content that's in the magazine, all you have to do is hit this test yourself here and it'll open up a quiz. When you pass the quiz at 70%, you can get 1 CEU. That's all included in your membership. You automatically get this digital archived version. Like they're all here, back issues and everything, going back to 2008. They also have some, let's see if I can find them on the website. There's some additional CEUs that they give just as a member. You get like 4 different opportunities that they give a year that are included in your membership. I can't find them right now. I know they're on the website here somewhere. Let's see. Corporate membership, savings center. But you can also attend chapter meetings. So you're assigned automatically a local chapter based off of your zip code that you're registered with the AAPC in, and whatever zip code of the local chapter is closest to you. And you can go and attend their meetings and earn CEUs. Most of them are free. Sometimes if you go to a chapter outside of the one that you're assigned, they might charge a small percentage of a fee for you not being a member of that specific chapter, like $5, $10 to attend. But some of them are still charging absolutely nothing. So there's a lot of ways to get those continuing education credits. I'm actually going to do a video soon updated on 2025 free CEU opportunities. So again, just one of the reasons I kind of like the AAPC more than some other organizations is I think they just have a lot more to offer their members. Are they perfect? No, I don't think any organization would be. I know a lot of people like to complain about their membership due costs and how they go up every year, but it's so funny. I was at I see a physical therapist just to help with some of my exercise goals and stuff. And she knows that I'm a medical coder, and we were talking the one day and she's like, well, how much is, she's like, oh, I just had to renew my license as a physical therapist. She's like, how much do you pay for your dues? And I was like, oh, it's like $220 or something. And she's like, oh, that's not bad. I pay like 700 something a year. I'm like, oh my God, good Lord, that's a lot to pay. And apparently she doesn't get, even as a PT, she doesn't get continuing education and stuff included the way that we do as AAPC members. Yeah, the CMS website does have some free CEUs. I think people get confused as far as how to submit some of those. And my Medicare contractor, Novitas, has tons. Actually, let me take a look at the calendar. I can show you guys. So when I go to, this is my Medicare contractor, Novitas. I don't know what it just took me to. But here in the Learning Center, there is an event calendar that I can sign up for all kinds of different events, and they're worth AAPC CEUs. Now, they don't give you an index number. You have to do the thing where you put it in without an index number and then and then put in what the title of it was and stuff, and that it was for a Medicare contractor, but you can still use these for CEUs, and they're great. And you don't have to be in my jurisdiction, the DC, Delaware, Maryland, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. You can still get these CEUs. So what do I got coming up? Credit balance reporting, Medicare Part A updates, LCDs. Ooh, this is a good one. Skin substitute grafts and cellular tissue-based products for treatment of diabetic foot ulcers and venous leg ulcers. Medicare Part B updates, FQCs, rural health clinics. I kind of want to check out the Part B updates, but I will be in Florida on the 22nd. My birthday's coming up, January 21st. And there's a book that I've been waiting to come out that is having a midnight release party at Barnes & Noble. And I'm going to the midnight release party that's going to happen midnight January 21st. And then later that day, I'm hopping on a plane and heading down to Florida. So I'm excited for that. But I will miss out on Part B updates because I will not be in my office. I'll be out doing all kinds of fun stuff. So excited for that. Yes, the AAPC only offers AAPC credentials. The CCSP is through a HEMA. There is an equivalent from the AAPC, and that is the CPC. So if you want to get into professional fee or provider-based coding, those are your two options. The CPC through the AAPC or the CCSP through a HEMA. You can't get the CCSP from anyone other than a HEMA. So you would have to get the CPC if you want to go with the AAPC. It's the same. It's the equivalence. It's like, you know, I don't know of a good comparison to plug there. But they're both certifications for provider-based coding. I'm old school and I prefer in-person classes. Yeah, some people need that. Some people definitely still need that. And there's definitely a place for that. I think I think that some people they like having that teacher there that they can look over their shoulder and see where they are in their book and go, no, let's flip some pages and here's where it is. That's hard to replicate online unless everyone has cameras putting on their books that they're looking at. John, yes, that is exactly the book that I am waiting to come out. Do I have the two here? Yeah. Oh, here they are. Yeah. I'm waiting for Onyx Storm to come out on my birthday. Left me on a cliffhanger, that one. So sad. Okay. So here's a question coming through. It says, I'm currently on my last 2 8-week courses online to gain my certification for medical billing and coding. Is it normal to feel like I'm still stuck and not feeling fully accomplished? Learning new things is hard, especially things like medical coding, because it's not just, oh, I'm learning this new code set. I have to learn MedTerm. I have to learn a little bit of anatomy. Now I have to learn ICD-10-CM, which is our diagnosis coding. Now I have to learn CPT. And then what the heck is this HCPCS stuff, which a lot of courses don't cover much. And honestly, maybe controversial, but I don't think they need to cover a ton of HCPCS. I think it's normal to feel stuck. And I think sometimes you just need to revisit things after you've learned. So there's a lot of things that when you start learning medical coding, you're like, I don't know what that is. That doesn't make any sense. But as you kind of are going through things and studying more, you're like, oh yeah, now I understand what that meant. And you might have to revisit some things or look at some more concentrated things when you're done. Like I would recommend maybe looking at the CPC study guide and go, okay, yeah, let me revisit some of these topics that I've learned and see if I'm ready for certification now. Because, the completion of your program won't make you a certified coder. You can get a certificate of completion saying, hey, I completed training, but you're not a certified coder unless you complete that exam through the AAPC or HEMA and you get your CPC or your CCSP or your CCA. So really targeting some training then at the end towards that exam preparation. Where Penguin asks, is weekend and evening remote work common in the medical coding field? It does exist. I would not say it is common. I think there's a couple of situations in which that would happen. Um, First would be if you find a particular organization that maybe has some part-time work or wants some evening coverage. More commonly, though, it would be if you have experience under your belt and you are doing contract work, meaning that, hey, we need someone to help with a backlog, we need someone to help with a project, and you can flex your hours whatever you want as long as you get this amount of cases done. Um, and have this much accuracy or what have you. So there is opportunities out there, but I would not say they are common. Most medical coding jobs, they want you to work business hours ish. So they might say, okay, your start time can be anytime between 6 a.m. or 9 a.m. And then your finish time has to be somewhere between 3 and 6 p.m., you know? So they'll give you wiggle room, but as far as like, it's not flexible in the set your own hours or work whatever hours you want in the majority of positions. There are opportunities out there. However, I just wouldn't say that they're common. How hard is the real exam comparing to the practice one? You're going to hear a variety of answers about this, and here's the skinny. What the AAPC does is they have various subject matter experts and people that make exam questions. When they are making questions, they're just making coding questions, coding scenarios, and they genuinely don't know if the AAPC is going to take that question and they're going to put it on a practice exam, a study guide question, a workbook question, or on the actual exam bank. So when the AAPC when you take the CPC exam, you're going to get questions pulled from an exam bank. This exam bank has likely over 1,000 questions on it. So the CPC exam that I would get versus you versus would get that John would get is going to be different because we're going to get randomized questions out of 1,000 question code bank. So they're all graded as far as, here's the easy, here's the moderate, here's the hard questions. And you're going to get everyone gets the same mix of hard, easy, moderate, etc. So there really isn't any saying, oh, well, we're going to make these exam questions harder than the ones that in the practice exam, because the people that are making questions don't know if they're going on the actual exam, the practice exam, a workbook question, a case study, like whatever. So some people, because it's randomized, might get some questions that they don't know on the exam versus what they studied. So it's really all up to chance. There's no saying, oh yeah, the actual exam is going to be harder than the practice exam. It just might be that you particularly got some questions off of the exam bank that you found to be personally more difficult. The next person might come and go, and they might all get questions that they know the answer to. And that doesn't mean that they had an easier exam. It just means that they got questions that were concepts that maybe they knew better. Sandy says, hey, Victoria, Happy New Year. I'm taking my CRC exam this year. Do you have updates for CRC? I do not have free updates for CRC, although I do have an updated course on risk adjustment. So my authenticator access. Okay. So my whole deal with my risk adjustment courses, excuse me. So I used to have a license with the AAPC and I would sell their licensed material. So I would get the official CRC curriculum, right? And I built my course primarily off of the back of that licensure. I would say maybe 70% of the course was AAPC material versus 30% of it just being stuff that I added or personally developed and fluffed it up with and made it a little bit more engaging or explained certain areas a little bit better. However, since then, I termed my license with the AAPC. So I can't sell that course anymore because I don't own the materials. I don't have the license to sell those materials anymore, right? So I can make a risk adjustment course. I can make a risk adjustment course, but I can't use any materials that the AAPC uses for their preparations, right? So I had to make something completely from scratch. which is what I did. And now, silly me, I'm looking at the wrong thing. And now that I had to decide if I wanted to do an entire CRC course or just kind of like a review. And I think with the large audience that I have, doing full credential preparation courses or doing full medical coding teaching classes is just not feasible anymore. So I've kind of shifted over to just doing more so like companion courses, I call them. So they're like a bit more robust than just a short review. But you can find that on my website now. So if you're looking to get the CRC credential, I do have a risk adjustment coding companion course. So if you're studying for the CRC and you need some additional material, that is good for 2025. It's also good if you're self-studying. So if you're someone who's like, I'm got a good feeling I can pass this exam, I just need a little bit extra, and you just want to buy the CRC study guide and get the companion course that I offer, that is an option as well. So you could get the study guide and get the companion course and then take the CRC exam, and it's going to be good. I think I include I think I include the 50 question practice exam that I developed in here as well. And it has CEUs. So there are, I think, five CEUs for this one. So that's available on my website. I'm still rebuilding some courses because, again, like, I can't use any of the material that the AAPC uses because I don't want to step on any toes or get into any troublesome situations there. And I'm very respectful of what other people have created, and I don't just like to rip off other people's work. Do you suggest starting Practicode immediately after the CPCA? So here's where I will admit that I fall a little short with Practicode. When I became a certified coder, Practicode did not exist, right? So it was just that you had to get 2 years experience. There was no Practicode. I think they let you still take 1 year off if you had 80 hours of education, but mine was only like 62 hours or something like that, so I didn't qualify for it. So I've not had the personal experience of having to go through Practicode and determining like if that's good to do right after you pass or during and so forth. Practicode is tough. There are support groups out there that you can talk to, but Practicode itself, if you're not familiar, it's a module, and there's just coding cases, and it's just like, here's a big old note, and here's some spaces where you can put in the CPT code, HCPCS code, ICD-10-CM modifiers, the pointers for what matches to what, and then they don't tell you how many codes it is or whatever's going on. It's very difficult. I would recommend going to do it after you pass your CPCA in order to remove your apprenticeship status. So if you want to fast track that and you're like, oh, there's too many people out there that I want to apply for these jobs, but it says no apprentice coders, and I'm an apprentice and I want to get my apprentice off like as fast as humanly possible, then I would recommend getting your Practicode done. But keep in mind that when we look at the stuff for Practicode, which I'll pull it up right now and we could take a look. When we look at Practicode on the website, here we go. 1 year for your apprentice A status. It is, some of the packages with the AAPC include it, others don't. So let's see here, new coders. CPCA Practicode 2.0, $249 if you have to buy it separate. It is a web-based training program, gain experience, code cases, receive feedback. That feedback is not like you have a teacher and they're giving you feedback. That's like rationale feedback. FAQs, let's see where it is. As an employer, how do records get updated? I thought they used to have, okay. What do I do if I disagree with the coding listed in the answer key? You just have to email them. Practicode is not a coached product. We do make every effort to provide assistance should be stuck. However, the rationales provided with the content will assist with most questions. So there's not going to be a lot of support for Practicode, and you have to understand that going in, that this is not something that you're buying and there's going to be an instructor helping you out, or you can phone a friend assistance. Matthew asks, question, how do you balance your workspace with your living space due to working from home? I'm going to be taking my CPC exam in a few months and we'll start working from home soon. So me personally, my space here, this is an office. So I'm not trying to stick something in a closet or a kitchen or what have you. My workspace is my workspace. I don't really do a lot here other than my makeup. So if you look here in the very corner of this, my home workspace, that's my directions. That's my basket of makeup. This is my cosmetics refrigerator, my brushes, and then some accessories and stuff down here. So I do makeup in here because I like to sit down and bring out my makeup mirror. Other than that, this is primarily work. I don't do a ton of leisure stuff here, other than maybe watch YouTube videos on Disney blogs and stuff. Um, and I separate this space. I know I also have a leased office that's about a 12-minute drive from here that I do a lot of my content creation stuff for. So, really having that separation is important. If you are setting up space in your bedroom or in your living room, it's going to be more of a difficulty to disconnect. Also, you have to consider a lot of organizations want to make sure that things are HIPAA compliant. So, you can't be in a shared space where your kids or your family would be walking through, because you're going to be looking at protected health information. And even though your kid, you're thinking, oh, well, they're not going to go and be looking at medical records, like you still can't have that information up and available as other people are walking by. There are some cool things you can do as far as like corner spaces. You can buy little corner desks if all that's the available space that you have, but just make sure that everything is appropriately compliant, because some of those employers, if they want you to work remotely, they will scan or ask for photos or some sort of proof that your area is secure and HIPAA compliant. Jay McClure says, does 80-hour course plus Practicode count as 2 years experience? Yes. So there's a couple of different ways to remove your A. Let's see if I can find it. Okay. So if you go on the AAPC website, they do have the apprenticeship removal requirements. So option one is, well, there's a couple of different things you can do. You could just wait and get 2 years of experience, and that'll remove your A if you get that verified from your employer. And the things that will count for 1 year each is Practicode completion will take 1 year off, and 80-hour coding completion of a course. If you can prove that, if you can get a statement on a letterhead or certificate or diploma stating it has at least 80 contact hours, or school transcript showing at least 80 contact hours, that can also remove one of the years. So yeah, Practicode will take a year off of the 2-year requirement. So you could have no experience and do Practicode and have the 80 contact hours and use that to take off your apprenticeship. Also, if you go through Preppy, they will give you a certificate that proves the 80 contact hours that does count towards that 1 year off of the apprenticeship status. So again, just a quick plug while I'm kind of talking about it. If you have not started your career in medical billing and coding and you want to get started, The information you need is over at my free masterclass at medicalcodingmasterclass.com. It does not teach medical coding, but it does teach you how to get in a career in medical coding in the right way, and talks about my sponsor, Preppy, who does really, really good, budget-friendly, flexible training for medical coders. So if your goal this year is like, I'm ready, new year, new me, I'm going to get that medical billing and coding training, I would highly suggest, if you want to keep your budget friendly, you want to have something flexible, you want to do it on your own path, you don't want to go into student loan debt, and you can take it on the go. Like, you can bring up your ebooks on your phone, and there's a lot of great support options, externship capabilities. You should check out Preppy, and you can find out more about them by signing up for my free career masterclass at medicalcodingmasterclass.com. All right. Well, it is 3 o'clock, and I am going to be heading out, you guys. It was so great hanging out with you guys today. I should be back next week. Next week is only the 13th. So I should be here the 13th and the 20th, maybe not the 27th. There's going to be a lot more content coming up, and I'm working on getting some more members only content up on the membership as well, because I think people are really responding to some of the case studies that I've been putting up together for members only. Anyway, I will see you guys next week. New videos are launching this week. I think I actually have 2 coming up this week, plus a ton of shorts coming out. So definitely make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you can get the notifications for all of those great new updates. And the last thing I want to plug before I leave. If you guys haven't gone on YouTube and gone onto the AAPC website, because I know not everyone sees the community posts. If you go onto the AAPC's YouTube page, I have my I Am AAPC interview that I did with AAPC Alex at HealthCon Philly, and you can watch that. I would really appreciate it if you did, even if you want to just put it on in the background and like mute it. But I really think you should watch it. There's some really cute and key takeaways there. And I want to make sure that this is like the most popular video that the AAPC has on their channel. So make sure that you check that out, watch it, leave a comment, because I really appreciate seeing the comments on there. But in any case, yeah, that's my newest thing that I did was the IMP AAPC interview. Really, really cool. So anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I will see you guys again soon. And until then, just keep on coding on.